What's going to happen with Jaxon Dart? The Giants really like him a lot. And look, Brian Daboll said after that loss to the Commanders, he was non-committal. This is so funny to me, is that he was non-committal after the loss to the Commanders that I don't know if I'm going to start Russ or not. We'll see. And then they wouldn't let Jaxon Dart talk to the media. And now Brian Daboll says, oh, yeah, Russ is definitely the guy. It's like, well, okay. Like, why? I mean, he wasn't definitely the guy after the loss. To his credit, he said he wanted to look at the film. So I think it's only a matter of time. Jaxon Dart looked awesome in the preseason. He looked really good. And there were some rumors that maybe they were going to have a package for him against Washington, maybe get him in there. But I think the challenge for the Giants right now is do you throw him into the fire? Do you let him go? Because, potentially more upside than Russ at this point in Russ's career. At the same time, the Giants' O-line is bad. Has the Giants' offensive line been bad for 15 years or something ridiculous? Like when Saquon was there, when Danny Dimes was there, even now, I just feel like their offensive line just cannot get it together each and every single year. So, do you put in Jaxon Dart, or are you, at least at this point in the season, feeding him to the wolves?
I think people need to remember that this is a macro perspective of the Giants franchise, where you're thinking in the next 5 years, as opposed to this year. This is not a Giants team that's going to win a Super Bowl. So you need to think about the future. So I think when it comes to Jaxon Dart, you don't just throw him to the fire. You let him sit and you let him watch. Because, you can say whatever you want about Russell Wilson, but he is a veteran quarterback, and Jaxon Dart can still learn some things by the way that Russell Wilson handles some of these game plans. So I do think maybe we'll see Jaxon Dart at some point, but I don't see it in the next few games because we do have some tough ones coming up for the Giants. They go on the road to a Cowboys team that looks pretty improved. That's a divisional game. Then they get the Chiefs, the Chargers, and then maybe on October 5th we'll see them because they go on the road to the Saints. Saints are not good. So maybe that's when we'll see Jaxon Dart. But I do think they need to be careful how they approach the situation because you don't want to break his confidence and you want to give him his best opportunity to be a franchise quarterback, even if that means sitting out some games and watching and learning.
When does Jaxon Dart start for the Giants? When is that going to happen? By week 5? You going over under week 5 when he actually plays? I think it might be under. I think they're going to lose another couple games, a game 2, and then they're like, let's go. The temptation, teams can't help themselves. Russ took a beating against the Commanders, by the way. The Commanders' defensive line looked great in that game, and they were pounding Russ. And yeah, Russell did not look good, but I don't know if anyone would have looked good in that game with that team playing Washington. But yeah, I feel like after a couple bad performances, I think they're going to go with Jaxon.
Well, I think a lot of it depends on the schedule. I brought up the Saints. That's on October 5th. That's an easy one. But then the next 3 games after that for the Giants, you play the Eagles, the Broncos, who are probably one of the best defenses in the league. You're playing that in Denver. And then you go to Philly. So you're playing the Eagles 2 of the next 3 games. That does not feel like a stretch that I want to throw a rookie quarterback into. So if we're talking about over under of 5 games, maybe for that reason, you go the over. Jenks, do you think you would feel comfortable putting a rookie quarterback in that situation, playing the Eagles twice in 3 games?
I wouldn't feel comfortable with it, but I think that NFL teams get so impatient. You're looking at this from a very practical perspective, which I think is the right way to look at it. And teams aren't always that practical. And then, of course, the fan base gets stirred up. You're going to tell me, let's say the Giants just start off and they go 0-3, and Russ looks mediocre, which is a strong possibility, right? Don't you think fans are going to be pounding the table? The pressure in the New York media is going to be, look, what do we got to lose? Let's put the kid in here and let him go. Isn't that why you drafted him? Do you want to lose every game? Russell Wilson is past his prime. He's washed up. Put Jaxon Dart in the game. There's going to be a fever pitch to put Jaxon Dart in the game instead of saying, hey, let's pump the brakes here. Let's be careful. It's a difficult schedule. The O-line is bad. Maybe we should bring him along slowly. And people are going to say, dude, he looked great in the preseason, okay? He looked great in the preseason. Put him in. So that's why I think it's going to be before week 5.
I've never worked in a front office, so I don't know how this goes, but I'm not sure how much the public has a say on, like, big decisions like this.
Yeah.
Because again, if you were thinking for the 5-year plan, you should not be sitting there and listening to, whoever's in the media saying, well, we want him to start now because we want to win games. The Giants aren't going to win a Super Bowl. Like, maybe be a little bit patient, because look at some of the best quarterbacks, like the best generational quarterbacks. They had to sit and wait and learn the game. And I feel like it, did them well. So I understand what you're saying. And especially in the number one market in the United States, in New York, there's going to be a lot of pressure. And I'm not sure that I believe in the Giants organization enough. They had some questionable decision making over the last few years. But I'm saying if it was me, I would be very careful, sliding Jaxon Dart into that situation earlier than maybe he needs to be.
No, I totally agree with you. And I don't think it's a direct correlation. Like, I don't think front offices say, what do the fans think? But what I do think is you certainly feel it and you hear it. And especially if you're a head coach and you're getting pelted with questions and you see the headlines, I think even if it's a subconscious thing, there's no question you can't help but know that pressure is out there and what people are saying because the questions are being asked. Does it influence your decision or not? I don't think directly, but you certainly know that it's there.